Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. This is episode 102, and today's date is September the 5th, 2023. My name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Hello, everybody.
This is our usual, what we call Podcast Tuesday. And as we have said many other times, we get together starting actually on Tuesday mornings and tune in a couple times during the day, and then we bring you those insights. And we're going to share those with you tonight. So we got a mixture of things today. And one revolves around some earth changes and into some other things that a lot of us know about. And then, but it takes it, when I say what we know about, and we'll get into it in just a bit, about our own bodies and about our states of consciousness. And then Royce, well, always gets wonderful messages and takes that a little bit further. All right. Are you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, one of the first things that we are going to start with is earth changes. So this kind of started out that way this morning. I'll go right ahead since you brought that up earlier.
When you mention earth changes, people get antsy, and that's just, our kind of natural reaction to it. But we live on a planet that is quite alive, and she's stretching her legs and her arms and everything, and so you have to be ready for movement at any time. And that's kind of what this one is about today, specifically around Washington State, around the coastal area, and actually all the way up the Pacific coast of the United States. What I was getting was earthquakes, cluster earthquakes, and actually involving a bit of Alaska too. I didn't get anything about Canada, so I don't know if it just skipped over that area or if it's...
I feel it's going to affect the southwest coast of Canada.
Okay.
Now, to what degree, I'm not seeing much devastation, that sort of thing. But we'll go into a little bit more of what we're seeing.
This goes back to, I believe it was in the 1990s sometime. I had a nighttime vision where I knew that I was somewhere along the Pacific coast of the United States and in a bay-like area. And I was standing in this bay on the shore, the innermost, like the continental side of it. And all of a sudden, all the water went out to sea.
Receded?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt and heard vibration. Very low sound to the vibration several times, and it was almost like a mechanical thing because it had a rhythm, but it was the earth, going through some kind of movement and causing the water to recede. And when it recedes, it comes back in. And so this, what I saw today, having to do with Washington State, I was reminded of that. I'll just leave it with that. So, and Bev had some more on that.
Yeah. I was seeing the ground rise up. This is near or next to the Pacific shoreline, so we're really out in the ocean. And if you take a look at that area, and I'm looking north, okay, facing north, then west of that, I was noticing that the water had, how do I say that? I felt the ground shifted out in the ocean, and that there's a cavern in that area, a fairly deep.
Subterranean.
Yes, thank you, subterranean. I felt there was very little water in there. So I could be wrong, but I'm thinking there wasn't, and the water then went from the ocean water, then filled up that cavern, almost like a waterfall into that area, and then it caused the other area next to the our current coastline rise up, and so obviously there's going to be some ground movement, but I wasn't really seeing water cover the ground at that point that we live on. Okay, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of shaking going on, but I was also told to be prepared, but don't panic. So there's lots of movement underground. So that's what I was seeing today. All right. Anything else you want to?
No, that's all I got about that.
Coming soon, but what does that even mean? What is soon? We don't know. It depends upon the Earth's vibration along with our vibration, because we're here all together, and her as being a sentient being, a conscious being, is when she feels that she needs to make those adjustments. I do feel this is Earth, as you said, her making the adjustments versus any weapon that is being used to make the changes happen. So we're not seeing that.
No.
This is really along the Ring of Fire, if you're all familiar with that. But if not, you can look it up, Ring of Fire, and you'll see the Ring of Fire around the Pacific Basin.
Yeah, which is in general quite a volatile area. That's just the way it is. It's the way that where the plates come together, and there's always movement where the plates are. If there weren't, we'd be in a sticky spot.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the main, if you want to call it earth change, earth movements that came into our consciousness today. So we hesitated to even share this with you, but I also thought, there's a reason that we got this.
Yeah, because if we don't say anything and something happens, then somebody out there may have been able to do something to protect themselves that they wouldn't have done before. So I would feel mighty sad about that.
Yeah. So just be on alert, and if you feel that you are in danger, now this is without panicking, then move to what you feel is a safe spot. And do note, animals feel these vibrations.
Yes,
before
always
people do.
watch the animals, because they'll let you know first. That's our first alert system.
Yeah. So it may just be a little shaking going on, but obviously the ocean waters are going to be affected.
Yeah. So
that's kind of big. If you start feeling that there's something going on, I probably would not be in a boat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be on the coast.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could be, especially if the water's receding. So it doesn't necessarily, usually when water recedes, that means a tsunami's coming in, and I really wasn't seeing a tsunami today. So, we'll leave it open. If more comes to us, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to start just with this. I got the word, this is an insight today, and I got the word encumbrances, or seeming thereof. So what do you feel encumbered with, from? what are you allowing? This goes into a little bit more detail in just a bit.
Yeah, and that's encumbrances are things that hold you down or push you down.
Mm-hmm. So be aware, because there's a lot of talk out there right now on the new variant, COVID variant, I think they're calling it, mask mandates, and oh my gosh, are we seeing pushback on all of this and saying, I'm not complying? I'm seeing that all over the world.
Yeah.
They're saying, no, I'm not going to do it this time.
Yeah.
No.
But you be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like that's what you need to do, to wear a mask, is that what you need to do to protect yourself, by all means, do it. But please don't fault those who don't.
Yeah.
And those who don't fault those who do.
Yeah. Everybody has their own reasoning for it. If it's out of fear and that helps you with the fear,
Then
okay,
yeah,
then do it. And prefer not to get into the fear, because that will cause problems within your physical body.
Yeah.
Fear is it's a tough thing to overcome, but it can be done. And we talk about living yourself often, and how powerful of a being that we truly are.
I'll tell you what, one thing that counteracts fear, I've found this for myself, just get yourself into a state of gratitude. Thank you for a roof over my head. Thank you for a bed to sleep in. Thank you for everything. Just keep naming things, and the more you express how grateful you are, the more you actually feel it, and it permeates you throughout, and the fear has no place to reside.
Right. It can't live in that vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually raises your vibration.
Exactly. And that's what's going on today. And a little bit more into that. I'm sharing the next part of what I received, and I usually don't go here, there, whatever you want to call it, but this did. To me, I think it's a lot of us understand this, but it did come through for a reason. So I'm going to share that with you, and then I think you've got a little bit more. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Biotechnology. Beware of what you put into your bodies. Something may be touted as healthy, but it may not be so. Even ingredients may look healthy, but use your intuition. It will tell you. Certain ingredients may be healthy for one and not so for others. Every body is different. Pay attention to your own body. So I feel that this was brought up today to really start paying attention to that now.
Yeah.
And now that I'm talking about it on this podcast, just because we're going through this transitioning, and what we put into our bodies can really affect us. And so if you're paying attention, that it may be fine for somebody else, but not fine for you. Just be aware of that. Or if you eat something that you don't feel very good after you eat it,
might want to take it off your list.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up because I laughed at myself for doing it. So all right, so I can laugh at myself again. I had received. I don't buy candy bars. For a long time. Anyway, I had received a candy bar for somebody had gifted it to me, and it was milk chocolate. And so I eat one little bitty square ever so often. And I thought, oh, that was good. I'll have another. And I think I did it 3 times. And every time I ate, especially the second piece, I didn't feel very good. And then all of a sudden it turned me off to even eat any of it. So anyway, it went in the wastebasket. So I laughed at myself even trying it each time. Well, maybe it won't happen this time,
Yeah. Wasn't it Einstein who had something to say about that? About stupidity.
Stupidity, yeah.
Stupid is doing the same thing over and
Over
over again,
again.
expecting a different result.
Yes, it didn't work. So anyway, that brought to mind that, and I thought, yeah, and then now it sounds awful to even put it in my mouth. So, that's going to happen. Certain things that you were used to eating no longer seems, what's the right word?
Not appropriate for your body.
Yeah.
Can't, because our bodies are changing.
It doesn't even sound good, appetizing.
Yeah.
And so that's okay, and then all of a sudden you thought, ooh, it sounds awful right now, and you let it go, and that's out of your diet. Other things will come into your diet that will bring more health to your body.
And greens, fresh greens are superb for the body.
Yeah, for most people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with greens, I hope everybody can get some form of greens in their bodies, because of there are actual physical changes that take place within the intestines and cause an effect with the vibration of the body.
I'm just looking at my notes here. It says that what ingredients may be healthy for one, may not be so for another.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes certain greens are hard on people unless they take it in another form.
Yeah, so we can find so many of those things powdered these days. And
right.
So if you can, like you do with mixing certain things in with yogurt or something, if you can take it that way, then that would be one way to get it down.
Yeah.
Or in a smoothie.
And if you feel good from it, fine. If you don't, then you might want to take a look at what's going into your system.
Yeah.
All right. I think you came up with something earlier today that you may want to share.
The handwriting?
Yeah.
Okay. I went into meditation, and I saw this wall, and on the wall there was writing on it, and I was seeing it like it was being written, but it was like going by so fast I couldn't read it. And so I heard, see the handwriting on the wall? It is indeed your own writing. Ponder your desires, and you will know when you are clear and aligned with your desires, for you will feel it in your soul. See yourself in the landscape you have created. So that seems to be a little bit of a theme for here on out for both Bev and I, with creating. We're wonderful creative beings, creating the world in which we live. But I was seeing the handwriting on the wall, and that's, that even goes back to biblical text. There was handwriting on the wall. So I'm paying attention to what I write down now. So I did before, but especially now, thinking of it as handwriting on the wall, because it has, I'm taking an active part in creating by way of my writing.
Okay, thank you. I'm contemplating on even sharing what I got here.
Go ahead.
Because
Sure.
okay, we're going. I'm kind of going back and forth a little bit here, but I'm going to go ahead with this next snippet of information that I received today. All right. It is becoming increasingly clear that humanity, is going through transitioning. To me, it's very clear. It is up to you to listen to the internal you or the outside media. What resonates to you? Beware of false appearances. Ignore, challenge, or obey. Think about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting words. Ignore, challenge, or obey. Your choice.
Three different things.
Reactions to something,
Yeah, either ignore it, challenge it, or
obey it. Okay, much, as we know, it's our choice. Said much will much will be presented as truth. To not, and I thought, I love this part, and this is the last sentence I got. To not upset the apple cart, many of you will obey. Think about that.
Yeah.
Even though the apples may be rotten.
Mm-hmm. Says an awful lot right there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I went, whoa.
And how many times have we gotten sucked up into something and we just didn't want to rock the boat, you know? So we went along with something knowing it didn't feel right, knowing it didn't smell right, but we went along with it anyway, and we got to reap what we sowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we felt we needed to obey, whatever that means, but we didn't challenge it. You know, we didn't, sometimes we ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm seeing in this world now is a lot more people are challenging, you know, what is being said.
Yeah.
Because it's not fitting anymore.
Yes. Yes, and that just stands to reason. When you have a species as a whole whose very vibration is changing along with the planet that they live on, you know, it's like it's status quo is not going to fit anymore. It's
the old status quo.
That's right. It just won't fit. It won't work.
Yeah.
It has to change too.
They're trying to. Whoever they are.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of people out there in the media. That means all sections of media. What we hear out there. Yeah, I listen to a lot of it. Or take snippets. About snippets. Take snippets of it, and then other times it's like, you know, I'm not reading that. It's a bunch of BS. So, but that's my take, and it might not be somebody else's take. So anyway, if it's something that I'm to listen to, I will. But usually I know, and it usually turns me off. I thought, yeah, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my friends will get upset with me sometimes because they'll send me something and I'll get that immediate, not for me. You know, I feel it. It just is repulsive, and so I won't read it. And they get upset. Why didn't you read that? It was really good stuff. Well, it was good stuff for you, but it wasn't for me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to learning to listen.
Yeah.
When I don't listen to myself, it's uncomfortable.
Well, we recently talked about this and have actually for probably the last couple of years, and that is start speaking up.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're powerful beings, and if you don't agree with something, do we obey, even though the apples are rotten, or are we going to start challenging because we're saying, we're not doing this?
And applying this to something else as well. I was recently with a group of ladies, and you know, once upon a time, I would not open up and share any of my experiences with them, but I put that by the wayside. Now I talk maybe too much about some of my experiences, and a lot of the ladies are finding it really interesting, you know, and so it's helping to maybe open some people up to thinking a different way.
Yeah.
So you know,
speak up.
Yeah.
All right. You, Royce, you received some more information and insights, and I'd love for you to share that.
This one, the larger one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to jump into it. No longer do we serve darkness, for our hearts and minds are free, and we choose the light. Our hearts and minds together see clearly the path set before us, and it is wondrously bright and filled with laughter and splendor so deep you can feel it oozing up between your toes. Come alive in your new creation. It's as easy as that. come to life in the new you. And in getting this, I was reminded of the movie Somewhere in Time. If you haven't ever seen it, it's well worth watching. The Reeves, he used to play Superman.
Christopher Reeves,
yes, he's the main actor in it. It's quite an old movie now, but it is still an oldie but goodie. And it has a lot to say about perseverance and of doubt as well. The main character in the movie dressed the part and surrounded himself with furnishings that fit a different time period, and the rest was carried out by his mind. He focused intently only on being in a certain place and time, and he was there. The time is now for the new you. Put on the garment of your truth and be your true self of light. Now, when we're focusing intently on where we would like to see ourselves, what we are in the midst of creating, doubts have no place in that. I've read this before. It's a quote that's attributed to Shakespeare. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. If we don't give it a try, if we don't try to focus and keep up with it, put our intention behind it with as much inner power as we have, there is no telling what we can do. The sky is not even the limit, you know. Focus, and do.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I'm gonna bring this forward, and that is when you're doing the focused intent. That is for you and you only.
Absolutely.
And so to get into somebody else's field, or say, my intent is to have this person love me, for instance, not going to work.
That's right. You can make changes only to yourself.
Yeah. So it's only for you. So keep that in mind. If a partner or whatever is to come into your life, that's fine. That can be an intent. But to change a person, or you think you're going to change it because you know better, how often does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I know better. I know what's for their highest good. No, you don't.
That's right.
You don't know what path they're on, and how dare you interfere with that path, no matter how it appears to you.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to back off, looking at other relationships. And one of the biggest thing I tell people is to be honest with yourself, totally honest. We talked about this, but bring it up over and over again. It's like, what does that mean? You may think you're being honest because that means that you're, that's your red words, because it's something that sounds good and you think you're being honest. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not. And it takes a while to even get through that because we've been so conditioned to do what what is supposed to be good.
Well, a lot of us were trained to be people pleasers.
Yeah, we are.
So that means pleasing other people and not even knowing what pleases you, not even caring what pleases you, just taking care of everybody else.
It may make you feel good for a while, but then all of a sudden, if you do that, then many times they'll say, well, wait a minute.
Yeah. Something's unbalanced here.
Yeah, this is really not fun for me anymore. And so that means the more that you probably shouldn't use those words, take care of yourself, and honest with yourself and do what pleases you, then other people will see that because you're going to be happier. And then they can, whatever it is for them to make them happy will happen too. So again, that ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to share?
That was actually, I think.
Okay.
I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about.
All right.
Until the end.
All right. Well, we thank you all for being with us today. And our next episode is going to be on September the 19th, again, 2023. So, again, interesting things are going on in this world. And we're going to have lots, as you notice, there's going to be lots of different viewpoints as to what's going on. So use your own insights, your own intuition. Everybody has it. And you may say, I'm making this up. This is my imagination. No, is it? Yeah, it's your imagination, because you're imagining yourself, and we're creators of this world. So it's looking at that word imagination, like there's a lot to that word. But the world is indeed transitioning. A lot of countries are making huge changes, not only on Earth, what we call Earth changes, or be it earthquakes, but I think with the so-called wars going on, governments governmental changes are continuing. The United States going through one heck of a we call it challenge right now.
But like we've said before, when something is changing, like we are, raising in vibration, the stuff that doesn't suit or match that vibration falls by the wayside. It either raises along with it, or it has to be gotten rid of. And so we are experiencing, seeing, feeling all of those things that are not of a high enough vibration to go along with us. And so it's being bubbled up to the surface so we can see what it is and make a choice to either keep it or get rid of it. So that's the times that we're living in now.
We are. Some of these things may shock many of us, and we'll eventually get through it. Forgive yourself for even, say, believing in it, and that is just coming to terms of what's inside of you. What is forgiveness? It's an interior motive. It's an instrument, perhaps, to bring about closure of incidents and issues. So it's a process of letting go. So it's a wonderful tool that we can use to let go of this and what no longer serves us. So it's definitely happening right now, and it's happening on a large scale because we are moving into the new world.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words?
Yes, I do. We have a dear friend up the street, 2 dear friends up the street, well, several, because their family is inclusive of animals. And one of their beloved cats, by the name of Sierra, passed today. And so I just wanted to mention Sierra's sweet name. And I know that Sierra is doing good right now, because I was able to see in my mind's eye another cat come to greet Sierra and usher her over to the other side, a big, strong, fluffy cat. So it was like, everybody, I'm in town. Big cat.
She kind of lumbered through. Yeah. And I did see that cat give Sierra a lick right on the face.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
And so our beloved animals are wonderful companions for us all, and there's a lot of them transitioning right now.
Yeah.
It's their need to transition.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, it's time to let them go. And if that's what they need to do. And that goes along with people too, for that matter.
Absolutely.
Is to let people, and people say it's so sad. Well, it is, especially for those that are living. But those that are passing over, most of them, because I see them a lot after they pass over, and I tell you what, most of them are like, thank God I'm out of that body.
Yeah.
And I'm not going back. So there's they lose their attachments unless they're with a loved one and they don't want to leave that loved one.
Yes.
I do see that. So
that's why a lot of people choose to go when there's not somebody else in the room with them.
Yeah.
And animals do the same thing.
Now, man, a lot of people, I'm going to bring this up now because I see it often, that a lot of people feel so bad if they're not with their loved one when they pass. They feel guilty. And I'm thinking, they left when you weren't there because they didn't want you there.
That's right.
And they said, oh, God took me. Oh, okay. Well, that's you as a part of God saying, I'm out of here. And that sounds crass, but it's the way it is. Because it is. And we look at it, you don't die. And so if you just move on, you're always energy, and you move from one form to another. So
yes, we don't die.
We don't die. And so it's like if somebody, if you're not there when they pass, you can send them love anytime. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
You don't have to be in the room.
Yeah, speak to them as if they were right beside you, and a lot of times they are.
Yeah, exactly. They are. And they come and applaud. I've seen a lot of people that have passed make a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. And I will tell somebody about what they're doing, and they start laughing because they know what that person's saying. And so they know it's them. And so it's like, yeah, we're with you, be a sister, mother, dad, whatever it may be. But allow these people to move on if they need to move on.
I have to say something funny. A dear friend of ours passed, and her funeral service was not exactly what she would have planned. Somebody else planned it, and there was somebody who made a delivery, and we were kind of looking at each other like, wow, I don't think that's really what she had in mind. Well, my friend who passed was standing right beside me. And when the first person who was given the delivery stopped speaking, she shrugged her shoulders and said, oh, well. And I burst into laughter, and I had to cover it up and make it sound like I was coughing, because she caught me so off guard saying that, but it was so funny. What are you going to do? It wasn't what you chose, but hey, it's done.
It's done. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does get hilarious. And so, we look at it such a somber moment, but it's for those that are left here without that loved one. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, it hurts, that physical separation,
Yeah, it does. It does. All right. All right. Well, again, we thank you for being here. And if you want to get a hold of us, the numbers on our, if you watch the podcast, phone number will pop up, which is 864-999-3008. If you want to leave a message for Royce or myself or Terry, and a little bit about Sherry. I think I need to add something onto our YouTube page, by the way. I noticed some things aren't there yet. But I will take care of that. If you have any idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, keep in mind, too, that Royce has written 2 books. And
yes, when the night comes creeping.
It's about your life experiences.
Yes, spiritual and otherwise, just really interesting life experiences. And one on sacred geometry, Walking into the Eye of God, by A.J. Royce. And they're both on Amazon and other places as well, but most people start there. And I'm writing another one on sacred geometry as well, and it will be finished when it's finished, and that's all I can say.
Okay. There's no timing on it.
Yeah.
What is time anyway? All right, and my book's written 3 so far, and that's Mystery of the Universes is the first book. Subtitled is A Prophecy Fulfilled. because that's what I was told. And so it goes a little bit more into that in the book. And then Mystery of the Universes Book 2 and Mystery of the Universes Book 3. And they're also available on your online bookstores, such as Amazon, and also they're available on Kindle. And so on ebooks outside of there, no, not yet. So,
and please, if you desire to get either one of our books, please be careful where you get it from, because, you know, writers need to buy groceries too.
There's some sites. Well, yeah, I noticed this is a few years ago that my third book was available as an ebook. It wasn't even out there as an ebook.
Yeah.
So, and they were giving it away for free.
Yeah.
And I went, what? You know?
Yeah. So please investigate the sources that you use for buying books, because it affects the writers.
And you don't know if they're changing words in a book.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if they can take my written book and put it into an ebook, I have no idea how they did that, and I don't know how it translated over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it may not be what was said, and it may take things out of context also. So, be aware of that. And our books aren't that expensive. Ebooks, I think they're $3 or $2.99 or something like that, or $3.99. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I don't have mine in ebook form yet.
Yeah. Now, I'm working on some other writings, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get those out or what that's going to be. And one of them's called What's Happening. I think I mentioned that the last time we were on here. But anyway, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out yet. So to be determined, but I have it written, and I may be adding to it. So it's either going to be a book of some sort, unless I get out parts of it and
Or
put it in
pamphlet part 1.
yeah, or got the word segment. So it looks like I'm going to be writing more on it. So, all right, enough of that. Thank you again, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And have a wonderful, bountiful, beautiful, prosperous days.
I was wondering how you were going to wrap that up. Just know that we love you very much. I can say that for myself. I love you very much, and I am so happy that you came here to be on planet Earth at this particular time in our history, and I'm so happy you stayed.
All right. I'll do that. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.